Right now, minus 50 degrees Celsius. That is the wind chill hitting parts of northern Canada tonight. And if you think your city is safe from what is coming next, you need to keep watching because a polar vortex split is about to change everything for millions of Canadians within the next 72 hours. Here is what most people do not realize. Two massive atmospheric forces are colliding right now above our heads. A sudden stratospheric warming event is tearing the polar vortex apart, and La Nina is fading, which means there is nothing left from the tropics to hold back the Arctic air. Nothing. The gates are wide open. And that cold air? It is already pouring south across every province tonight, Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. But here is the thing. Not every city is going to get hit the same way. Some of you are about to experience the coldest night in weeks. Others are sitting in temperatures above zero right now and have no idea what is heading your way this weekend. I am going to break down exactly what is happening in your city when the worst hits and precisely how to stay safe. And if you stay until the 5-minute mark, I will reveal which major Canadian city could see a rare and chaotic snow event this Saturday that almost never happens there. Drop a comment right now telling me where you are watching from. I want to make sure your city gets covered. Let us start where the storm is already hitting. Montreal. Right now, as you are listening to this, snow is falling across the entire city. The temperature is sitting at minus 7 degrees Celsius and dropping fast. Heavy gray clouds have locked in overhead. The flakes are piling up on rooftops, on cobblestone streets, on every surface across the island. But here is where it gets serious. Overnight, Montreal is plunging to minus 10 to minus 12 degrees Celsius. Factor in the wind and your skin will feel minus 15 to minus 18. At that level, frostbite can develop on exposed skin in under 15 minutes. That is not a scare tactic. That is Environment Canada science. The snow is tapering off by Thursday morning and daytime highs should recover to about minus 3. But tonight is the danger window. If you are in Montreal, stay inside. If you absolutely must go out, cover every centimeter of exposed skin, especially your ears, your nose, your fingers. They are the first to go numb and the most vulnerable. Now, here is something most people miss. Montreal is running 4 to 5 degrees colder than Toronto right now, and that is completely normal. Montreal sits at a higher latitude, gets zero benefit from Lake Ontario's moderating effect, and lies deep in the St. Lawrence River Valley where cold air pools and settles like water filling a bowl. That geography makes Montreal one of the snowiest major cities in North America, and tonight is a textbook example. Do not skip ahead yet because what is happening in Ottawa right now is even more intense. Ottawa, Canada's capital, one of the coldest national capitals on the entire planet. And tonight, it is proving exactly why. The temperature is minus 8 degrees Celsius. The sky is completely overcast, wall-to-wall cloud. Not a single break for moonlight or starlight. And here is the number that matters. Overnight lows are expected to plunge to minus 12 to minus 15 degrees Celsius. Wind chill? Minus 20 or lower. At minus 20 wind chill, exposed skin can develop frostbite in 10 to 15 minutes. Thursday is not bringing relief either. The daytime high is forecast at just minus 6. The trend line is pointing straight down, and that is consistent with the Arctic air mass pushing deeper south through mid-February. One bright spot for Ottawa, though. The Rideau Canal Skateway, the world's longest naturally frozen skating rink, should have excellent ice conditions with temperatures holding this far below zero. But tonight, enjoy that thought from beside your fireplace. Save the skating for daytime hours when the cold is a touch more forgiving. Now let us swing to Toronto. 6 million people in the Greater Toronto area need to hear this. Right now, the temperature is around minus 2 degrees Celsius. That sounds manageable, right? Here is the twist. A northwest wind is channeling cold air straight off the Great Lakes, and the wind chill is making it feel like minus 10 to minus 13. By Thursday morning, the mercury slides to minus 6 to minus 8. But the real headline for Toronto is what is coming next. Thursday's daytime high is only expected to reach minus 4. That is nearly 4 degrees colder than today. This is the leading edge of the Arctic air mass, and Toronto is directly in its path. The polar vortex disruption is not a forecast anymore. It is arriving, and the coldest days have not hit yet. There is a 25% chance of flurries overnight. Not a blizzard, but enough to make bridges and overpasses dangerously slippery after midnight. If you are driving the 401 or the Gardiner late tonight, ease off the gas and leave extra following distance. Do not miss the next section, because the Prairies are where things get truly extreme tonight. Winnipeg. They call it Winterpeg for a reason, and tonight that nickname has never been more accurate. The temperature dropped to -15 to -18 the moment the sun went down. Overnight, it is falling to -22 to -25 degrees Celsius. And the wind chill out on the open prairie where there is absolutely nothing to block the wind for hundreds of kilometers of flat land is projected to reach -30 to -35. Let me put that in perspective. At -30 wind chill, frostbite develops in 10 to 15 minutes. At -35, that window shrinks to under 10 minutes. Environment Canada issues extreme cold warnings at these thresholds, and tonight, Winnipeg is right in the danger zone. But here is the beautiful contradiction of prairie winter. The coldest nights often come with the clearest skies. Arctic air is so dry there is barely any moisture to form clouds. Tonight, millions of stars will be sharp and brilliant across that enormous prairie sky. You could see the Milky Way stretching from horizon to horizon. The cruel trade-off is that without cloud cover to trap heat, temperatures just keep falling and falling through the night. The most beautiful skies come on the nights you cannot stand outside long enough to enjoy them. Heading west to Saskatchewan, Regina is sitting at -12 to -15 degrees Celsius. Saskatoon, further north, is colder at -15 to -18. Saskatchewan is the flattest province in the country. Wind chill in both cities could reach -25 to -30 tonight. Clear skies, stunning stars, dangerously cold. Now here is where the forecast takes a dramatic turn. Calgary. While most of Canada shivers in double-digit negatives, Calgary tonight is sitting at -1 degree Celsius. Today's high hit 5 degrees above zero. That is 8 to 10 degrees warmer than the historical average for mid-February. Two words explain this. Chinook winds, a warm, dry air mass sweeping over the Rockies from the west, capable of spiking temperatures by 15 to 20 degrees in just a few hours. But Calgarians, do not put the parka away. This warmth is temporary. With the polar vortex splitting by mid-February, a significant Arctic blast could come roaring down the eastern slopes of the Rockies within the next week. It could be -20 by next Wednesday. This is Calgary. You know the drill. Edmonton, 300 kilometers north, is not getting the Chinook benefit. Temperatures tonight are -8 to -12, dropping to -15 to -18 overnight. Edmonton is the most northerly major city in Canada outside the territories, which means shorter days, longer nights, and more hours for temperatures to plummet. The sun sets a full hour earlier here than in Toronto, and every extra hour of darkness is another hour for the cold to deepen. Edmontonians know the routine. Plug in the block heater, warm up the truck, grab a double-double from the drive-thru, and get on with it. That is the Edmonton way, and they have been doing it for generations. Now let me take you somewhere that feels like an entirely different country, Vancouver. The current temperature is 7 degrees Celsius, positive, above zero. The sky is clear, genuinely clear, which is rare for a city famous for its rain. You can step outside in a light jacket and feel perfectly comfortable. Compare that to -25 in Winnipeg, and you would think these cities are on different continents. The Rocky Mountains act as a massive wall blocking Arctic air from reaching the Pacific coast, while the North Pacific Current keeps temperatures mild. Vancouver's winter challenge is usually rain, not cold. But tonight is a beautiful exception. And here is the reveal I promised you at the 5-minute mark. This Saturday, Vancouver has a 20% chance of snow. Snow in Vancouver. If it happens, it will make national news, partly because it is rare, and partly because Vancouver's winter driving infrastructure and driver experience with snow are, well, let us just say it is not Winnipeg. If you are in the lower mainland, pick up some road salt this week, seriously. Right across the Strait of Georgia, Victoria is even milder. 6 to 8 degrees Celsius tonight with light cloud and a gentle sea breeze. Victoria is Canada's most temperate city, a place where cherry blossoms sometimes start blooming in mid-February. Tonight, while half the country is battling frostbite warnings, Victoria is quietly reminding everyone that Canada is vast enough to contain both an Arctic deep freeze and an early taste of spring on the same evening. Now, the Atlantic provinces. Halifax tonight is hovering between -3 and -5 degrees Celsius with strong onshore winds off the ocean. The danger here is not just the cold. It is freezing rain, the most treacherous type of winter weather on Canadian roads. It creates a thin, nearly invisible layer of ice on every surface. Drivers call it black ice, and it causes more winter accidents in the Maritimes than almost anything else. If you are driving anywhere in Nova Scotia or New Brunswick tonight, slow down, keep your headlights on, and assume every bridge and overpass is already iced over. St. John's, Newfoundland, the easternmost city on the entire North American continent, is even more rugged. A stiff northeast wind straight off the North Atlantic combined with sub-zero temperatures. Locals describe nights like this as just another winter evening in St. John's, BY. If you know, you know. And finally, the far north, Yellowknife, -28 to -32 degrees Celsius right now. Overnight lows could hit -35 to -40. Wind chill could plunge to -45 to -50. At those temperatures, your phone battery drains in minutes. Your car will not start without a block heater running all night. Your nose hairs freeze the instant you step outside. Your eyelashes frost over, exposed metal sticks to bare skin. Even breathing becomes an effort because the air is so cold it tightens your lungs with every breath. But Yellowknife has a reward that no other city in this forecast can offer: the Northern Lights. Clear skies combined with the city's position directly beneath the auroral oval make tonight a potential showcase for ribbons of green, purple, and pink dancing across the sky. A natural light show of breathtaking beauty offered in exchange for enduring cold that only the toughest among us will face. Ask anyone who has seen them. It is always worth it. Over in Whitehorse, Yukon, temperatures are -20 to -25 with thin cloud cover. Cold air is pooling in the valley, creating temperature inversions where the mountaintops are actually warmer than the city below. If the sky's clear enough, the aurora could make an appearance here too. So let me bring it all together. Tonight, Canada splits into 3 distinct zones: Eastern Canada, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, and the Atlantic provinces -3 to -15, cloudy skies, 20 to 25% chance of snow. The Prairies, Winnipeg, Regina, Saskatoon, Edmonton, the most severe cold in the country, overnight lows of -20 to -25, wind chills reaching -30 to -35. This is the most weather-dangerous region tonight. And the Pacific West Coast, Vancouver and Victoria, 5 to 8 degrees above zero, clear skies, the only part of Canada where you do not need heavy winter gear. Above it all, Northern Canada, Yellowknife and Whitehorse, extreme cold of -25 to -40. Here is what I need every single one of you to do tonight. If you are on the prairies or in the north, stay indoors. Cover every bit of exposed skin if you must go out. Limit outdoor time to under 10 minutes. Check your furnace. Make sure your pipes are not at risk of freezing. Have candles, flashlights, and warm blankets ready in case of a power outage. And please, check on your neighbors, especially anyone elderly or living alone. If you are in Eastern Canada, drive carefully tonight. Bridges and overpasses freeze first. Keep an emergency kit in your vehicle with blankets, a flashlight, snacks, and water. If you are in Vancouver, enjoy this beautiful evening, but watch the weekend forecast closely. Rain is coming back Friday, and that rare snow event could hit Saturday. Now, I mentioned at the beginning that the polar vortex split is just getting started. The coldest air has not arrived yet for most of the country. In my next video, I am going to break down exactly when the deepest Arctic blast hits each province, how long it lasts, and which cities could see temperatures they have not experienced in over a decade. You do not want to miss that one. Comment below with your city so I can make sure it is covered in the next forecast. Share this with anyone you know in Canada tonight, because this information could keep someone safe. And one more thing, if you know someone who is elderly, living alone, or without proper shelter tonight, please reach out to them. A simple phone call, a knock on the door, a text message, that is all it takes. We look out for each other. That is what Canadians do.